Everybody, I'm Justine Froelker, and I help teams and leaders um, get their work cultures back to thriving and not just surviving because work really doesn't have to be this hard or painful. And we do that through the courage work. And it's Courage Tuesday, where I share with you how the courage work is showing up in my everyday life. I, when I was like planning out all my social media, this week, I honestly really I didn't wanna post anything, which is not good entrepreneurship. It's not good for converting sales, it's not good for reaching people, and it's not aligned with my values at all because I want to show up and share this work with you, to help you keep it top of mind and help you live it out and to show you how to live it out. And sometimes that converts to sales, right? And so it's Tuesday at after 10:30 when I am just now recording Courage Tuesday. And if you watched last week's extra video, it was a 30-minute video about kind of what's been going on in our lives. I will try to link it at the end of this video. I think I can do that on YouTube. I encourage you to go check that out. And so I was praying about what I needed to share this week. And I'm wondering, this is a lesson that has continued to show up in my life in different ways. Sometimes you just don't know what the next step is. Like sometimes you just don't know how it's going to turn out or how it's going to be okay or what you need to be doing next exactly. And something that helped get us through our infertility journey 14 years ago, and what I really taught to our infertility and loss community after we ended our journey was this question of, or this like statement of, I don't have enough information right now to make that decision. Like you only know what you know right now. And sometimes that means that you can't make the next decision. You can't take the next step. Yes, of course, we can think about our options and we can um, pray about it. We can check with our community and the people who love us well, and we can talk about it. And at the end of the day, though, that like you may just not have all the information required to make the next step. And I've had a couple people say to me lately, especially after watching that video about everything that's going on with us moving and Monarch Meadows and stuff like that, that like to watch Chad and I walk out in obedience and just obey the Lord when we really have no idea what the next step is or what's coming. It just gives them hope and faith. And it ties to this space of there's a lot of unknowns right now in our lives, like a lot. And how do you maintain your wherewithal? How do you stay as okay as possible? It helps that we believe that we fight from a place of victory. It helps that we have Jesus. And I know that not everyone believes that Jesus is, their savior like we believe. And so I also believe though that Jesus provided us with a lot of examples. And I believe that is so many of those are examples that are in my courage work. It is the skills of this work that help us navigate times of uncertainty or hardship and to walk in obedience. It it's it's our faith. And it's because we choose to walk in partnership with God and walk out the work that I teach every day. And so, I'm wondering, what do you have in front of you that is just, it's not a whole lot in your control? I'm wondering what's in front of you that you may need to take a step without knowing exactly what's going to happen or what it's going to entail. And a lot of times, you have to step into the water for the water to part. That's part of this collaboration that we have when we live with God and in obedience. But there's also this piece of you may not have all the information that you think you need in order to take that step. And how do you be as okay as possible within it? And I it's not going to be news to any of you who have followed me for any amount of time. It will always come back to who God created you to be. It's your value. It's your values. It's your identity. Um, One of the reasons that you are seeing Chad and I walk out this walk, is because we're turning toward one another. Uh, we absolutely know that there is an enemy who wants to kill us, and most of all wants to steal our faith and our belief. And I am stubborn, and he won't. I would rather have absolutely nothing and lose everything and still have God than to have everything that I want and not have God in it. So I will fight from authority. So we turn toward one another, but we also we live in our values. Um Chad has very high integrity, so we are going to hold people accountable to doing the right thing, when they need to do the right thing. And we are going to do the right thing when it comes to stewarding uh, these dreams that God has put in front of us, whether or not it's properties or the people that He puts in our path to serve and love well. We're going to do it well in our values. Like for me, part of my courage value is to restore, to leave things better than I found them. And like that sometimes means that I have to step forward into what I have no idea what is next. And so I walked this out because a lot of who I am and how I'm wired, and also what I do for a living as a speaker, um there's immediate feedback a lot of the times. And plus, I do have how God made me, and also mostly through my life experience. I do have this does anybody see me? Does anybody see me? See me? Uh, and so last week I had the opportunity. I earned and I was given. It's both this huge opportunity to teach my work on a much bigger platform than I've ever had access to, alongside people that I greatly respect. And it's still kind of surreal that my name is in these people's mouths, let alone I was in the same place that they are teaching their work from. And also it was really outside of my comfort zone because I just talked down the barrel of a camera for 5.5 hours teaching. I do that here in Courage Tuesday, but then I get the feedback of your comments or your messages. When I'm speaking to a live audience, I get the line that wants to talk to me afterwards, or I get feedback from the organizer. It's it is this immediate feedback, and also just body language, and or the chat box when it's even a virtual event. It's feedback of you're on the right track. That joke landed, or oof, they felt that one. They felt that to their core. They really feel they really know that they're not alone by what I just said. I can feel that. And in this particular opportunity, I was just teaching a workshop. I didn't have access to the live audience. I only had one person in the room with me for those 6 hours, 5.5 hours that I was teaching, and he was running tech. So I could see him shaking his head sometimes, but I had none of this. It was very ambiguous. And one of my friends reminded me, I really do think that this is part of God stripping away more of your false identity. You don't need feedback from your community. You don't need whether or not it is the tear in the eye or the line to speak to you after a speaking engagement, or the comments once you put up Courage Tuesday to tell you that oh, that really meant a lot to me. You don't need any of that to know that you are making an impact, as long as you are in your values, in your identity, and showing up to serve and love on people. You can trust that step into the water when you don't have all the information that you feel like you have to do it well, or to take the next step, or to do what is right, or just because we need that certainty, because our brain is so uncomfortable in uncertainty, and so it will do anything in its power to make it certain. And so in this whole experience, the surrealness of having this opportunity, also just the discomfort of the kind of event that it was. Of course, my brain was at great work to make me feel comfortable. And your brain loves to make up stories, and it has stories that it has made up for a very long time, probably born of some of the toughest seasons of your life. Your as Donna Winship says, your present pain has nothing to do with your current circumstances. It's based off of something earlier in your life. If you want to do an identity exchange prayer session with me, reach out. I would love that. They are life changing, and I love doing them. And I'm just a few hours short of my getting my certificate for identity exchange. But so of course I knew it was coming, right? I knew it was coming. My brain was going to come in and try to make me comfortable, and the enemy will take those thoughts and run with them and try to make you doubt your authority, make you doubt your values, make you doubt who you were created to be. And so, of course, the thought that came in was like, they're not even going to post this. And of course you didn't get to meet who you wanted to meet because you're a nobody. You are a nobody, especially compared to who else is on this platform. And I had so much evidence going against that thought. So much. I mean, I earned this spot to teach my work in a 30-minute coaching call. I've had a lifetime of work to earn this opportunity. More than that, I'm really good at what I do. I deserve this opportunity. I also had all of so many people in my life cheering me on and checking in with me and praying over me and believing in me. And even the organizers was we did not ask you to be here for what you can do for us. We asked you to be here for who you are, be who you are. Just reiterating everything that I teach and everything that I hope that I exude to you, because one of my identities is an exuder of healing. That is part of my mother of restoration identity. And so this thought comes in and I have to gather that evidence that shows me that that thought is not true. That thought is just based off of old stuff and beliefs and false identity. And I know that is not true. I have to take it captive. I have to rewrite it. I have to restory the story in order to restore my courage. And taking up the evidence helps me do that. It doesn't make the thought go away, though. And it very easily can plant the seed of doubt. And it is our job. Courage means to not allow that stuff to take root. Courage means that it does mean I recognize you and I know what you're doing. You are trying to make me comfortable in this uncertain, what feels very risky situation. But I know truth. I know, one, that's not of God. God doesn't make nobodies. You are called, you are gifted. It is your brilliant storytelling that helps people to see how much they are loved by God, that makes them feel and know that love because you live so loudly in that love. You do that in who He created you to be. Just go be that. It helps to have the evidence around you, though, to do that and to feel it. And so there's a piece of one of the things that is being stripped away is that. What if there is this ambiguity that's just supposed to be in part of this work? You don't need that constant feedback that you were okay, that you are doing well. You don't need all of the information to take the next step. One, what you really need to know is who you are, who God is, how loved you are, how much He loves you, the name that He calls you, and you need to live from that identity. And yes, we're going to check all of that in scripture. We're going to check it with our community and we're going to walk it out. And so the Courage Tuesdays lately have been really, long-winded and more of me fleshing out some of these new things. Because I do there's something new happening in how I am supposed to share this work with you. And I don't know exactly what it looks like yet. And that is terrifying, especially because I have a retreat space to pay for. And I want to reach more people. And I really believe that this world is in desperate need of my work and these courage skills. And so I'm wondering today, what's in front of you that you are feeling like you have to have certainty in order to walk into it? Or what is in front of you that you feel like you have to have that certain feedback to know that you're doing okay? And what would it be like to pause and take a breath and ask God what He wants you to know about it? What's He think about it? What's He want you to do? What's His feedback for you? And of course, yep, check it with your community. Check it against your values. Make sure that you are living into who you were created to be, not who the world thinks you are or wants you to be, not who you think you're supposed to be, not who your family of origin wants you to be, who you are. That's the courage work. You may not have all the information you need to take the next step. It doesn't mean that you don't take the next step because sometimes we only know after we take the step. He doesn't create nobodies. No matter what comes of that big opportunity last week, I know I did good and I'm super proud of it. And I can't wait to see what comes of it. And I can write down and declare what I want from it. And I may not necessarily need that. And that may not be what comes of it. And that's okay. Because if one single person felt loved, that's enough. What's one thing in your life that feels really, really hard that you don't know what's going to happen? And yet, if you pause and take a breath, take a beat, turn toward the people who love you the most, wrestle it out with them, you actually do know what the next step is. We're supposed to be moving soon. And then our new house, the ceiling fell in. And we don't know what anything looks like right now. And what we do know is that we will steward it well because it's who we are. And it's who we are together as a family, and it's who we are individually. And we will call one another into those values and who God created us to be. And we will walk through it together. And we're going to share the heart along the way because I think people need that hope. And so, what's that have to do with courage work or leadership and your team? You have somebody in your scope of influence that is really struggling right now with something, a lot of uncertainty. And what if you simply created the space to wrestle it out with them a little bit, to ask them what's going on, to reflect their values back to them, to help them walk through it in the dark? What if you reminded them of what the light is?